Good evening. I'm going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, the train. I'm going to talk about Brightline. There was a meeting last night in the city of Stuart, and I had a couple people reach out to me, so I thought I'd do a quick video and let you know kind of some of the information that I know and what I found out. I think you're going to be really important. First of all, something I didn't realize is this is a transit-oriented development project, has a component of that with it. If you all remember 750, that was a TOD push. Also, it's very interesting how much money this is costing us. I'm going to tell you the background real quick, but first of all Martin County races will be decided on August 20th, so you will be voting, the county will be voting for all the county commission races except District 1 is just Republican registered voters only, and the city of Stuart will also be decided as well, and that's for the city of Stuart residents. To be clear, I find it interesting that all the Brightline information is coming up right now, either right before or right after election. So I just want to point out some things about the races. For the city of Stuart, if an incumbent is replaced, that new commissioner will take over the next meeting after the primary election, meaning the two seats that are up is Troy McDonald and Becky Bruner. If either one of their opponents win, they will take the seat immediately. The county's a little different. County commission, while it's decided August 20th, the new commissioner will not take that seat until after the election in November. So essentially, if one of the incumbents does not retain their seat, they will essentially be a lame duck. So keep that in mind as these votes are traveling through the city and the county. The agreement or the award for Martin County was back in March, so I kind of thought it was a done deal, and it turns out it's not. So that's why I wanted to bring this up for you all so you understand what's going on with the train. Brief background, in 2018, the county decided to settle with Brightline. Briefly, we had about $4 to $5 million in legal fees with lawsuits. A lawsuit was just about ready to be decided. 4 days before that lawsuit was to be decided, we were not on the line for attorney's fees or anything. That could have been the end of it if we decided not to appeal. However, for whatever reason, the county decided to settle with Brightline, and in that settlement they agreed not to oppose Brightline and not to meet with any opposing groups, so they pretty much can't represent opposing voices anymore. They also agreed to pay for 50% of a train station if they built it in Martin County, and also at the time they agreed that 15 minutes of the bridge opening an hour was a fair and equitable opening for the marine industry in Martin County. That was out of that settlement. So here we are today in 2024, and we found out that $5 million lawsuit has now, we're over $50 million because of one thing, the train station that our county commissioners agreed to pay for. In 2023, Brightline asked for people to submit some proposals. We could have said, no, we don't want to submit one and not been on the hook for this, but the county and the city submitted a proposal for a train station, and lucky us, we won. So today we have to come up with $45 million. That's going to be a minimum. There's going to be fees, there's going to be interest with that, plus another $800,000 to promote their station on top of that. I'm going to show an overview of where the train station is in Stuart so you can look at that while I'm talking. But long story short, that train station is almost 4/10 of a mile to the Lyric Theater. For comparison, the parking lot by Sailfish Circle is just 1/10 of a mile, and folks don't even want to park at that parking lot. They think it's a long ways. So interestingly enough, that as it turned out last night, the city said we're not even going to have a parking garage anymore. They're just looking for level parking that's uncovered. It's possible we might get a second story if they cannot fit 200 spaces on that parcel, and it's that green parcel that you see there. I'll talk about the red parcel later. So that was a little interesting, and last night they did vote for that agreement and supplied the $30 million. On top of that, the county has agreed to $15 million, and they met with the staff. County staff met with Brightline, determined that $2.2 million will be needed for permitting and design, which will occur over the next 13 months. And county staff has set aside funding that they'll return to the Board of County Commissioners in a separate item for the remaining $12.8 million. So now, for the City of Stuart residents, you've agreed to contribute $30 million to the construction, but the bonus is you'll also have to pay $8 to $15 per day to park if you'd like to use your $30 million investment. So let's break down the numbers a bit. Numbers can be manipulated to show many things, so I will share exactly how I determined these figures. Martin County at $15 million and the city of Stuart at $38 million. Stuart was never party to the initial agreement, by the way, and neither party had to submit that train station proposal to Brightline. We could have let Fort Pierce have it. Brightline claimed it had 2.1 million passengers in 2023. I used the population of the 3 counties where they have existing stations, Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. That's just about 6.3 million people. In those 3 counties, the stations carried 6,000 passengers per day, and that's 0.001%, 1,000th of a percent. 0.001% of the population in those 3 counties ride the train a day. That's the amazing amount of traffic it's taken off the roads, 0.001%. Translate that to Martin County with a population of 163,000. It means we're building a $45 million plus station for 163 people per day, if it's going to be that money or that many people, because on top of that, the stations down south have 32 trains a day, 16 outgoing, 16 incoming. They are telling us we are going to have 4 trains a day for our Stuart station, 2 outgoing and 2 incoming. Now, of the 163 people per day, Brightline's average short distance ticket is $25 and long distance ticket is $92 one way. That was December average prices of 2023. Can you afford that, or are you being mandated to subsidize train trips for the wealthier by your elected representatives? For Stuart, $30 million means every man, woman, and child is being forced to pay $1,544 to build a parking lot train station that you will have to pay to use. City manager Martell even doubts he'll use it. In fact, you already do not use available parking because it's not close and convenient to downtown. And he explains this in the meeting last night.
He wanted to ask one more question. Stay right there. Go ahead,
Okay.
Commissioner.
There's going to be no covered parking?
Correct. I mean, we could demand it and pay for extra for it if you want, but they're going to charge for it and it's not going to be open to the public anyway. So that's your call.
At no time will it be open to the public.
There was never, the design was always that the parking would be paid for. So it's open to the public. Anybody can park in it, but you'll be able to park for free on the street, or you'd have to pay to park there. So I doubt that people are just going to randomly select it.
To park in the non-covered parking?
Correct. The parking is really designed for someone going on vacation and wanting to leave their car for 10 days and then come back. And so that's one of the reasons also that we didn't feel like a parking garage was that beneficial to everybody, because the 200 spaces, again, if it's Arts Fest or 4th of July or something like that, people will probably pay to park there even if they're not getting on the train. But day in and day out, all the studies show us that they're not going to use that many parking spaces and that they'll be available. We also have free parking at Wells Fargo that people don't park at now to go downtown on Friday night.
I mean, what sort of rates were we looking at?
I think it's the same, you can answer, but I think it's the same rates as a West Palm.
Yes, it would be comparable to what we have in West Palm and Boca, which depends if you pay in advance or at the meter. It could range anywhere from $8 to $15 per day.
Now, as I move into the other terms of Brightline's requiring to enter into an agreement with the city and county, if you're familiar with 750, the transit-oriented development, pay attention. And also note, Commissioner Doug Smith was a steadfast proponent of 750 and was the only commissioner to oppose the county's decision to withdraw from 750. So Brightline signed an agreement in March 4 of 2024. Again, this will be posted in my YouTube comments, but among other things, Brightline states they require that the terms listed below will be included in the final agreements that they enter into in the city or county. The city was going to have a meeting August 6th. It's been delayed till after the election, so we'll see what happens with this. Again, remember how commissioners can vote. There's a lot to it, but some key items. It'll remove the obligation of Brightline to pay 50% of the cost of the station to be developed in the Treasure Coast. Of course, we've already agreed to that. Remove the obligation of Brightline to consent to and participate in the cost of building an aerial pedestrian bridge in downtown Stuart. In consultation with the city of Stuart, the pedestrian overpass is no longer needed as the parking garage and station are located on the east side of the street. So, folks, city of Stuart told them, don't worry, we don't need a pedestrian bridge. We'll see what the county does with that. And more importantly, I'm going to go back to the slide again with that red parcel. That is the 4th parcel. The county is going to look at donating to the city, and it appears from the county comments, which I will post, they probably will. That parcel, Brightline wants for the right to development for transit-oriented development. They want to have that at $1 a year for 80 years, just like they're getting the other 3 parcels for the train station. Boy, folks, wouldn't that be nice for our county residents if county would rent us or lease us land for $1 a year for 80 years and then we can build on it? Boy, that'd be fantastic. But they're not doing that for us. They're doing that for an entity that's ultimately foreign owned and it's a privately owned company. Those of you that know me, I have been opposed from day one against any taxpayer funding for a private entity. That was before it was even foreign owned. Now it's even foreign owned. Florida East Coast Railways, owned by a Mexican company. This is a foreign owned hedge fund that now has Fortress. Fortress might be American, but the hedge fund owns Fortress. So, folks, that's what's going on. Your vote counts August 20th, no matter which side you're on. That's how you're going to vote for these commissioners. I just wanted to share this information with you. I was surprised that there's not going to be a parking garage. I'm astounded at the expense on the city of Stuart back. I hope you get grants, but it's still taxpayer money. And, it surprises me even the pedestrian bridge is gone. So we need to keep on top of this. Vote August 20th. Your vote is your voice. Democracy at its finest. God bless you. I hope this helps. Please share it if it did. Thank you.